Hello and welcome to Mock Productions. You are hearing me, Matthew, and we are back with what will be Skylanders 6. Now, don't worry, do not worry, this is not the official announcement of it, don't worry. However, I wanted to talk about two things in particular. One being exactly this. What do I want to see from Skylanders 6? But the other we'll get to afterwards, and it's extremely awesome news. So, let's have a look, see what we've got first. So first up, I've got the actual gameplay. Now, when thinking about the gameplay, I'm on about how you play the game, what the game looks like. I'm not on about the chapters or anything like that. So, what I've got here is I'm actually quite happy with the graphics at the moment. Some consoles I think they could do with ditching, and others I think they could focus on a lot more. The ones in which you can update the games, that is the stuff you need to focus on now. A lot more people I think have got those consoles. I know people still have the others, but I think we've got to get with the times. I'm not saying, that the other consoles are rubbish, because they started off what has been some fantastic consoles right now. But I definitely think they need to stick the same graphics in terms of the up-to-date consoles, let's call them that. Now, I've put here more interactivity. Now, what I mean by that is with the controller itself. Now, a lot of people probably know that my gameplay is with the Wii U when it comes to Skylanders. And I think maybe the more interactive that is, the better. Now, I know with Trap Team, they had the actual trapped villain inside the actual screen of the I was going to call it, no, it's the gamepad. There we go. They had the actual character stuck inside there, and that gave you a bit more interactivity and felt as if it was actually captured inside. But what I also mean is by all the buttons. I think that as much as you're moving the character around and pushing maybe 3-4 buttons to make the character attack or jump, maybe there could be more buttons incorporated into, like when you open a chest or something, you have to push a certain amount of sequences with the buttons or something like that, just to make it that bit more interesting and a bit more active with your actual hands. As much as you're moving with your thumb, the gear stick to move around, and then also the buttons, a few more buttons I think would be really awesome in order to make it a bit more enjoyable as well. And also, I think they've got to just stay with the normal controls. If they're going to add anything in, it's going to be super duper weird. The controls have got to stay the same. A lot of people have got used to these 5 years now, coming up to the 6th, of all the controls being practically the same. Where they implemented the jump, of course that possibly threw some people, but then we've gradually got used to that, and there's absolutely no problems with that, as far as I know. But let me know what you want to see in terms of gameplay. Now, by that, like I said, it's not so much the chapters or anything like that, it's the outside features, the graphics, all that sort of stuff. Let me know your opinions on what you would like to see personally. So moving on, we then have the characters. Now, by the characters, I don't actually mean the Skylanders. I am more on about the sort of support characters in a way. So my first thing is I think this game needs a new villain now. I'm not saying Chaos is done with completely, but I think maybe a break from Chaos would be ideal. I kind of like Trap Team when you thought, brilliant, they're bringing in all these villains, and you think, yes, this is awesome, and they slowly but surely went down and down and down, and you were still left with Chaos being that main villain. Now, I know the whole series is probably, it's formed around Chaos. He's been in the 5 games now, but there's a lot of backing and forthing with the characters of Glumshanks and him, of him being good, Glumshanks being good, and then they come back. They finish the games by them being on the same side, and then all of a sudden they're back to being villains. So I personally think that they need a new villain. But let me know what your thoughts about that. I mean, I could be completely wrong. A lot of people might want to see Chaos continuously. That's fair enough. I totally agree with that. But I still think that a new villain might bring a lot of dynamic to the actual game. Another thing is introduce more friendly characters. Now by that I mean, like, every game you meet these new characters and they come back to the hub, and then the next game they're still there. And I think they got to carry on doing that. But also, this could be a very good opportunity for them to expand the universe of Skylanders. They've already started doing that within the 5th game when they introduced Nintendo characters. Now, I'm not saying... well, actually, I am. I'm saying that maybe the different consoles that have the different games should possibly think of collecting together and maybe making some unique characters for the different consoles. You know, we've had the Wii U. What about PS4 and Xbox 360? I think a lot of people were looking forward to having Bowser and Donkey Kong. But how about rubbing it in the face of the Wii U people that you have specifically made characters from different universes? I think that would be really cool, and I think they've definitely started something very, very interesting with that. So let's move on to the next one we have, which is the Skylanders. Now, of course, everyone's thinking, oh, we've got to have some Skylanders. Well, it's not Skylanders unless you have Skylanders. So, what have I got here? We have returning Skylanders. Now, of course, there are tons. There are absolutely tons of Skylanders. There are so many I could think of that could come back. Now, I want to hear from you guys which ones you would like to see returning. Now, there has been some where they've gone on to Series 4 and 5. I think it's time to call them a day. Spyro had a year off. I don't think we need to see any more of Spyro. We've gone from Spyro's Adventure now. He started this off. We need to start bringing back some very interesting characters, changing up the poses, and possibly... I liked how they brought some of the old characters back and made them into superchargers. That was very cool, and I hope, this is one of the points as well, I hope they do that with this next sort of range of Skylanders. The next thing is old Skylanders. There are plenty of old ones which from the first game which haven't had another sort of looking yet. I would like to see more of them come back. I mean, last year, let me just have a quick look at these. Last year we had Bone Bash Roller Brawl. We've had Pop Fizz before. Let's just move this. Check these out. Eruptor, we've sort of had him. Bone Bash Roller Brawl was sort of the one Skylander really to sort of make a good comeback. Which I was happy about. I really was, because, you know, she was in Swap Force, and then that was it. She was in Swap Force, gone. So it was good to see her back, and I'd like to see them do that again. So bring back ones which we haven't seen in a while, let's put it that way. Now, everyone knows me. I love a light core, and I really, really want to see them bring back light cores. They've done it for 2 years now. Actually, let's break the barrier here. 3 years, counting the actual what were they called? The Dark Light Spire thing and the Sun Spire thing. The Light and Dark Adventure Pack. Those things, they lit up when you put them on the portal. That was awesome. I think they were onto something there, and I mean, even if it was an accessory that lit up, I wouldn't mind. I love Lightcore. I find them so awesome, and they can develop that so much. You know, they could even make like a whole Lightcore range. They could bring a game out that's just specifically Lightcore characters. I mean, it would have been awesome to see the Traptanium stuff light up. I think that would have been an awesome thing. But it's just you know, it's just what they're going to do. But personally, I want to see Lightcore coming back. And then, of course, the last thing we have, like I said this just before, I would like to see the old / returning Skylanders used for this new function. But now, by a new function, I mean, like last year, we had the new Skylanders, and then they were all rebranded into Superchargers. So I don't know whether that is actually going to stop them from being a Series 4 or 5 now. They have now been branded Superchargers from now on. I'd like to see that happen with some of these, some of the ones that I'm staring at right now. You know, who knows? We might see a Popthorn or another Riptide or a, I don't know, a Wind-Up. Yes, Wind-Up. There's plenty of characters. They've got tons. And quite frankly, I think we're on for possibly quite a big chunk of Skylanders. I would like to see a massive amount of them made. Last year it was, I would probably say maybe a reduction in terms of the Skylander figures, but the vehicles made up for it. The year before that we had all the traps. Now that's a lot of stuff, and I'd like to see that come back. You know, they did it with giants. There was like 5 for each element. That would be fantastic, especially with the light and dark elements as well now. And who knows, they might even bring back, sorry, not bring back, they might even bring in a 10th element. Am I right in saying a 10th element? No, I'm not, I'm being stupid. An 11th element. They might even do 12, who knows. They might bring back another, or they might bring 2 more into the equation, which I guess would be pretty awesome. So moving on from the Skylanders, we have the function. Now by the function I mean the different things that will happen in the game. So the first one, that was Toys for Life. The second one, you had giant figures. The third one, you could actually swap your figures around to make 256 swap abilities. The fourth one, you had the traps in which you could put into the portal, and the fifth one was vehicles. That's what I mean by the function. Now this is what I personally would like to see. I've come up with these armor Skylanders. Now go with me here. I would personally like to see Skylanders that are basically standing still, almost like a soldier, and you could basically buy these little armor upgrade things and plug them onto these different Skylanders so that they, I don't know, they get more armor or they get a special weapon attached to them. I think that would be pretty awesome. I think having a Skylander where you can get more interactive with it, almost like Swap Force. I'm thinking Swap Force this year. I want to see more hands-on figure sort of stuff, that you can actually do stuff with the figure and change it in a way. And I think putting armor or weapons on it would be a fantastic way of changing up the function this year. The next thing, I personally want to see some more vehicles. I don't mean to have more superchargers, but I possibly would like to see more vehicles that you could just basically possibly have, I don't know, Washbuckler have his own vehicle. Just something like that, just to sort of carry on that amount of the genre from next year, or at least bring them back in from last year. I did sort of mention this before, but more moving parts on the actual figures, that would be pretty cool. You know, you could actually move their hands, or put a gun in them, or something like that. Something just to make it a bit more interactive. I think that would be pretty cool if you could make the figures move around and maybe switch over body parts or something like that. Something a bit funky and crazy, but it would be pretty awesome. Now, this I think might be pretty interesting. Now, collectibles. We sort of had this with Trap Team, with the traps. You were sort of collecting all the traps. But maybe having like some sort of card with like an inbuilt scanned code on in it that you can actually place on the portal, and it gives the Skylander a specific upgrade. Now, I'm sort of bringing Battlecast into this to sort of tie it up. But also, like I said here, parts of armor. Maybe you could, like, you know, have like a blind pack, and you open it, and it could be like 1 of 5 parts for Eruptor's shield or something stupid like that. But it would work. You know, I think that would be pretty cool. And even if they were to just maybe have 1 Skylander from each element, but have like that many like items that you can really deck out the Skylander to like be invincible. Let's put it that way. So they're my sort of things as to what I'd like to see. I'm not really looking for more giants. I've heard some people say maybe Giants Reborn or something like that. Not really. I don't think they're going to go back to that. They're going to carry on, make something. You're going to be you're going to be blown away by whatever they announce. You know, anything that they announce, you're going to be like, well, I never would have thought that. But who knows, somebody out there might have guessed exactly what it is before it's come out. But let me know what sort of functions you would like to see with the actual figures or the game itself. Let me know. Now, the next thing is the extras. Now, what I mean by the extras is I mean the bits on the side of the game. So you'll have the game itself, which will be comprised of, I don't know, maybe 12 to 13 different chapters. It might do like last year where you've got 12 to 13 levels, sorry, with about 51 chapters worth of things going through that. But these are the extras on the side, so like on the additional menus. Like last year we had the multiplayer racing. Now that brings up what I think, yes, here we go. is the first thing, which is expanding that multiplayer. They could go massive with that. They could go huge. They could absolutely break the boundaries of this game and expand the multiplayer so you can have PvP again. A lot of people are saying that, and that actually, I think, brings up the next one. There you go, online PvP, that brings that up. I think having like a play versus play, or maybe 4 players together, maybe doing like a 2-on-2, something like that would be so cool. The racing, I definitely say bring the racing back and maybe give it an absolute overhaul of maps to do. You know, the ones from last time, and another 4 from each thing. And then even more stuff, you get DLC packs and everything like that. They need to start, this is where I thought they need to start using these big consoles where you can shove updates onto them. That would be the best thing to do. What else have we got? There we go, so exactly. Keep the racing, but more tracks. I think a lot of people like the racing. Now for me, when I went on the racing, it took an absolute age and a half to get the racing to start going. You'd have to wait and wait and wait, and I really think they need to focus on the multiplayer. And I think this brings up the last one, is developing that multiplayer more. I don't know whether it was rushed last year. I'm not saying I'm a genius in making a multiplayer game, but I think it needed more development, and possibly some way of which of just literally bang, you've got your things. I know it had to connect around the world, but other games will literally find players straight away, and you'll be in a game done. Maybe having different servers that you can connect to would be fantastic. So you could have a drop in and out system, and as soon as you drop out or drop in, I don't know, a computer player takes over. Now that is the next thing which joins on to that development, is actually make a game which is just solely for multiplayer. I hope that there is a company out there who's been working 6 years in the making now of making a multiplayer Skylanders game. Can you imagine having about 5 versus 5 and you're using the weapons to actually, I don't know, capture a point? You're thinking of all the other multiplayer games, you know, you're shooting other players, all that sort of stuff. I know it's supposed to be a kid's game, and I totally agree with, but there's got to be something, some little what's the word? There's got to be a branch that's branching off into another territory of all these collectors and everything, looking for an awesome multiplayer game where you can actually switch it up in game and just pull off a character and place on another one, or maybe 4 people connect at the exact same time, but only one person puts all 4 Skylanders on, and the portal recognises that, and they get to actually choose, right, you have this one, you have that one, and you can battle as a friend, all that. Split screen as well, I haven't written this down, but split screen, there's so many multiplayer things. Now I really want to hear from you guys what you think about what I've said here. I personally think I'm onto a winner. I don't know about you, but I think multiplayer could be an awesome thing. Even if it was called Skylanders Multiplayer, multiplay, and you had all these different modes where you could play hide and seek with a Skylander or chase around or something like that. Simple games like that, but then you can also branch off and have, you capture a point, you can take down the other Skylanders. There's so much. There is absolutely so much, and I want to hear from you guys what you think about this. So, here we go. We have the first news update. I have to say, I am stoked. I am absolutely stoked that I found out about these things. So, let me show you this. Do you remember this guy? Well, let's just say there could be, it's either a leak or it could be an early leak, and it could just be fake. I am pretty much certain that this is not fake. If it is fake, well done to you. Well done to the person who made it, because it is pretty much flawless. What am I talking about? I am talking, obviously we have Chopper there, but I am talking about this. Now this guy is holding what looks like, and this happened last year with Spitfire, we saw a black Skylander and we were all like, whoa, what the heck? What's this? And we totally got it wrong, because when you see it in black, you don't actually know all the details. You can't see all the details. Now, showing these pictures together doesn't help because it looks exactly like the same figure. But they're not. Look at the base. Straight away, look at that base. It's purple. Now that makes perfect sense. I was thinking it could have been a yellow base this year. Actually, what base did we have last year? We didn't even have a base. We had an engine for last year with all the element coming out of it. So there wasn't even a colour to the base last year. The fact that this is purple, it's purple. It's got to be purple. Or violet, whatever you want to call it. It's not blue like Swap Force. And this guy wasn't coming out in Swap Force, so that's not possible. But the fact this guy is holding it, it does look slightly edited, I have to say. There's not really any shadows to show this, but it does sort of fit into his hand. But also we have these. Now I have to show these off. This is actually in life, but you can see here it's standing upright. He's not like down. As I can see the figure right now, and the figure here, he's almost as if he's walking forward and looking forward. This guy looks as if he is roaring up into the sky. His mouth is open wider, his tongue is not off to the side. I don't think this is a prototype. Why would the base be purple? Why would the base be purple? If it was a prototype, I'm guessing there wouldn't even be that plastic base on the bottom. There's also this picture from the side. Now this shows it off a lot clearer. It's upright. He is not looking forward. He's literally doing an upside down L. It's an upside down back to front L, let's put it that way. He's holding on to the helicopter. Now that helicopter blade on the actual figure that I'm looking at right now is actually like flat on his back. This one is sort of directly going up, and so is he. His tongue is actually in his mouth still. So I am pretty certain this could be a Series 2 chopper. I don't really know what it would be called. Upright chopper? Maybe blast-off chopper. Have we had anything with blast-off in it? I don't know. There's nothing like special about it. There's no like additional pieces on him, and I can't see like there's no four blades. There's still two. He's still holding on to it. He still looks the same. So maybe like blast-off chopper. But the fact that they're showing this now makes me interested, because last year we had Spitfire. Spitfire ended up being in the starter pack. Could Chopper be a starter pack character? Let me know your own let me know your own opinion on this, because it is super interesting. It really is. It's definitely interesting to think that this could be a starter pack character, but also could be a Series 2 chopper, which is just so cool. So cool in itself. And of course there's the base there, bright purple. Now people have actually had a look at this, and it does actually read on the bottom 2016. It's 2016 this year. It's purple. There has been no other purple base. And actually, let me just pick up my chopper for a second and compare it with this base. Right, that is interesting actually. The base is the exact same moulding of this one. So I don't know, I'm not sure. I want to hear from you guys though. Do you think it's fake, or is this an early leak? I mean, if it's an early leak, that base is bang on exactly the same in terms of the outline of all the cogs. It's exactly the same, I just checked. But I want to hear from you guys. Fake? Real? You let me know. Are you excited though if this is a Series 2 chopper? That's what I want to really know. Because I am. I'm super stoked. Right, on to the next thing though, we have this. Now, you probably look at this really quickly and think, yeah, it's a Skylanders calendar. Anything jumping out to you at all? Anything at all? Maybe there's a character on there, you're thinking, who the heck is that? Yes, so am I. I am looking at this guy in particular. You're probably thinking, who the heck is that? Well, first of all, as soon as I saw this, I thought, wow, this has got to be a Jet Vac. Gotta be. I mean, look at the face. It's like a beak, it's like a Jet Vac, but it's like a knight. And then I thought, are we actually going to get armor Skylanders? I thought, am I actually guessing right? Of course I'm probably not. I love the blue tuff that is coming out the top of this sort of armor. But it just leads to the question of what the heck is this thing? Because you look at it and you think, what is it supposed to be? Because the feet, they look... Well, we'll go into this, because I did, literally, like I said, I thought, is this Jet Vac? And I want to know, do you think this is Jet Vac? I personally, at the moment, after looking at it, I mean, if you look at it straight away, you think, yes, Jet Vac. But once you have a look at the features, like the feet, the beak, the actual build of the character, then you start to question, no, it's not. Plus, there is a massive feature, which if some people have already noticed, then good on you. But here we go, let's just have a little look at the back of this calendar as well, because you'll also see, you'll have a little look around and you'll think, yeah. But then you'll also see that character again, and he's got artwork, and that artwork looks pretty interesting to say the least, and definitely distinguishes that it's not an air element. Yes, of course, I'm looking at this, and you can see that there is water all around him. He's also got a water symbol on the front of his chest. What also is very interesting is looking at this, he has these awesome claw-like things coming out of this armour. They are looking extremely menacing. He looks awesome, he really does. He almost looks like a ninja because he's got that sort of golden belt. But then you've got the golden armour. There's so many questions. But the first thing is, he's definitely a water element. I think we can distinguish this is a water element. So that rules out that this is Jet Vac completely. 100%. It looks as if he's got polar bear feet. Now, when you look at it in this sort of an image, you think, yeah, it does sort of look like a polar bear. But there's only 3 claws. That also brings me on to the next one, which is his face looks like an eagle. So that's where people are... So it's sort of a mix and match of what I thought to be a polar bear and an eagle. Now, of course, it's not a polar bear and an eagle. I think it is an eagle. I'm pretty sure it's an eagle. But he has the claws coming out of his hands, and he just looks so cool. I don't know what to call this guy. I can't think if this is going to be a new breed of Skylanders called like Armor Force. I mean, it's not going to be called Armor Force, but maybe this is one of those special characters. I mean, it could just be a brand new character and the ability or the new function hasn't even been seen yet, which is fair enough. This brings me on to the factor. There he is a little bit more clearly. I've also come up with a name for him. I'm going to name him, and I hope a lot of people might see this as sense. I'm going to call him Polar Claw. I think it goes rather well. I think having the claws, and then you've got those metal claws coming off there, but also he looks very polar-like. He looks like a polar bear. He's white like a polar bear. He's white like an eagle. I'm not saying an eagle lives in the Antarctic, but I'm saying that it looks very polar-like. He looks as if he could be a very icy character. So, Polar Claw. I think this guy's going to be called Polar Claw. I'm putting my money where my mouth is and saying Polar Claw. I could be completely wrong. It might not even have those 2 words in it. But if it even has half of those words, even if it has an A, if it has an A in the name, I'm taking that. I will take it and say, yep, I've named him. Done. But I want to know what you guys would call this dude, because I'm interested to see what you think this guy is going to be called. It's obvious this is a new character. We've never seen this before. He has artwork. There has never been a water element character that looks like, what's his name, Jet Vac. Which is interesting, because now I'm also thinking maybe they're swapping the elements over. Maybe we're going to have a Jet Vac in the water. But I'm going too far. I'm going very, very far here. That could be nothing to do with the function at all. But do you think this guy is going to be part of this new function? Do you think armor might have a play in this new function? I'm interested to find out about this from you guys. But finishing this off, of course, what do you think? That is the main thing. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Have I at all got your brain box thinking a little bit more outside the box? So let me know in the comments below your own predictions and what you think of mine. I want to know what you guys think. What you guys think about anything that this game might have. Do you think multiplayer is going to come back? Do you think they're going to get rid of that? Do you want to see PvP? You let me know. And of course, let me know your thoughts on these two new Skylanders. One of which is new, one of which could be a remold. If it's a remold, I can't wait to see Chopper. And if they're both in the starter pack, well, doesn't that just... That's the icing on the cake. Straight away. Oh, wow. And then finishing off, of course, you can subscribe for more news. This is the first news update. I am super, super stoked. It's got to be dropping soon. The news of this new game has got to be dropping soon. I've got no idea what the game is going to be called. I don't know the function. I don't know anything about it. But as soon as I have any news, I will post videos straight away to show off this game. I can't wait. And of course you can rate the video so I know that you are excited for more information about this game, because obviously we get it slowly but surely and then bang, you get a whole lot of it, and then we start getting itty bitty bits all throughout the whole of the progression of waiting until the game comes out, but also that you're excited for this game as well and its release date. So yes, there we go, I shall leave it here. Now this is obviously taken over the Marvel Mondays, so when we come back after the Overwatch stuff, which happens tomorrow, guys, it's tomorrow Overwatch, I can't wait. For those people waiting for Overwatch, I cannot wait. So yes, I'll leave it here. I'm super happy, I cannot wait now, I'm getting excited and I love this feeling of waiting every day and you think, it's going to be now, it's going to be today, it's going to be now, it's going to be today. I personally think it's going to be sometime in June. That's my prediction. So there we go. I shall leave it here, and I shall see you guys next time for more news updates, and of course tomorrow for the Overwatch unboxing. I can't wait. So there we go. Thank you very much. I'll see you then, and goodbye.